is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, it is happening. The four teams look to be, well, they're going to be added to the Big 12, it seems. And we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be breaking it down. And the vote to approve these four teams could be happening very, very soon. Pete Thamel really kind of covered this through Twitter and has been quoted with Sports Illustrated kind of talking about when we can expect potentially a vote. I think this is incredible. Four teams being added, which right out the gate will go ahead and add, Texas and OU are not expected to leave until 2025. So you will have 14 teams in this league, which will be, 14 teams in this league, which will be very, very interesting. Then year two will drop off, and that'll create the 12. I do want to talk about how I believe there will be more teams added once that occurs. I think that this initial kind of grab of the four teams was something that they really wanted to accomplish. They're getting a massive, massive population and a huge fan base in Houston. They're getting such a tremendous fan base and really great athletics in BYU. And the same goes for the other two. UCF, a great football program, a very good area, not a professional football team in the area. So UCF really is supported by the fan base down in Florida. And then obviously, like I said, you have Cincinnati, currently, depending on which poll you're looking at, is ranked 8th or 9th in the top 25 and really is doing amazing things. They're known for their basketball program as well. I think for me, and I've talked about this in every video I feel like I've done covering the Big 12 up to this point, I think what the Big 12 is doing is, one, it's nice to see the aggressiveness, whether this is Bowlesby finally being aggressive or this is the pressure that is being applied from the schools. Either way, this was tremendous to see the aggression and going out and getting these schools. But I also think it's great to see is the fact that they're starting to expand. We went out and added West Virginia on this last expansion, but West Virginia seemed like they were out there by themselves. Now you have the likes of UCF being added, which is another East Coast team, but more in the southeastern portion. You're getting BYU, which is getting closer to the coast on the west side. Not quite there, but obviously you're getting into that time zone. And I think that your Texas obviously adding Houston, Cincinnati, you're adding, that upper region closer to West Virginia. So it's not such a tremendous, the gap between West Virginia and what you got going on in the Big 12. I really like this being spread out, and I think it's going to continue to happen once OU and Texas definitely go ahead and decide to go to the SEC. I could see two more, maybe even four more teams being added. It'll be interesting to see the growth and really the aggressiveness once that happens. We're going to talk about in this video, definitely talk about some timetables, when we can expect these teams to be added to the Big 12. I think BYU could be added a little bit sooner than most of these teams because of football not being tied to any conference. Yes, they are tied to an actual conference when it comes to some of the other athletics, but for football, they are not. The only thing they are tied to is a schedule. Everything else is tied to definitely to a conference. So those might take a little bit longer, but we're going to dive into this, and we're definitely going to talk about it. So this is from Ryan McDonald. He posted, Big 12 presidents reportedly met Monday. Things still on track to add 4 schools quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. Pete Thamel obviously is reporting from Yahoo, and then we're going to dive in and actually read Pete Thamel's tweets because I think they're significant. As was reported last week, we understood that there was a chance that this meeting was going to take place amongst the presidents of the Big 12 Conference, and this is according to Pete Thamel. It says that the Big 12 Conference schools met Monday to discuss the impending applications of those 4 schools, which is BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston, to the conference. This article continued to say, according to Thamel, no formal votes about adding those schools was taken, as it was more of an informational meeting. This is what is occurred on Monday. I think what's significant about that is probably they really went over and gave out the entire outlook, gave out the plans for what they envision happening, and probably had to negotiate and talk about money aspects. where they envision going when it comes to the TV deal, why they added these 4 teams, why it's significant, how maybe a divisional lineup might go. I mean, there was probably a lot of good information that was discussed in this meeting. I definitely believe that this probably was something that had to happen before the vote could occur. So then it continues to say, that said, things are expected to continue to move quickly. Thamel reported that the applications are expected by Wednesday, and a formal vote will likely take place on Friday. This also correlates to what Sports Illustrated had to say. They said that last Friday, that a vote for this coming Friday could happen. So we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about what Pete Thamel reported. He said, according to his Twitter sources, Big 12 presidents held a meeting on Monday. No votes took place, as it was more of an informational meeting to go over the impending applications of UCF, Cincinnati, BYU, and Houston to join the league. He continued to say applications are expected to come in within the next 48 hours. A formal vote is being planned for later this week, likely on Friday. All systems still appear on track. We're heading toward adding 4 teams in the next short period of time. I like the confidence. I like how they are, again, being aggressive. This is something that needed to happen, in my opinion. If they were, I think what was cool, and probably out of respect, they gave the conference, the teams individually, the opportunity to go out and seek other opportunities. And then they were able to convince them, hey, this is why we want to stick together. And this is why it could be significant. And this is happening quickly, like it needed to. Finally, this is what Pete said. The tentative projection remains that the 4 teams come in for the 2023 season. That means 2 more Big 12 seasons at 10 teams and 2 at 14 before OU and UT planned departure after 24. The league could still consider another round of expansion prior to the new television deal. There is so much in here that I think is so significant. So the thing that we're going to have is a 2-year window, really, to kind of, as a Big 12, they're going to have time to evaluate those schools like Boise State, like Memphis. Not saying that they don't already have a ton of homework on them, because I do believe Memphis was one of the schools they probably were interested in. And so I definitely believe that they probably have done their research and their homework on those schools. This just gives them more of an opportunity to really kind of do more in-depth research if that's what they're wanting to do. I think what this also does too is it gives them time to really kind of develop and build a good game plan once those schools do enter into the Big 12 as your OU and UT depart. With that also being said, Pete breaks it down and says the league is still considering another round of expansion. I think this was part 1. I think they know that there is a part 2. They're also going to see how everything starts to play out with the structure of college football. And let's be honest, how the NCAA and how college athletics continue to evolve. That's what we're seeing. This whole entire thing, again, is an evolution because UT and OU decided to depart the Big 12 and join the SEC. Otherwise, we would just be talking athletics like we are, but this is completely different. And so I think that speaks volumes to what they're going to continuously do. I would not be surprised if this conference is at some point 14 teams, maybe even 16 teams. And, pushing with the new television deal. There's so much that is involved with this, and I think that it's nice to see, again, I'm going to emphasize it again, the aggressiveness. I think there was a lot of jobs that were riding on this, and I think with this aggression going out and getting these schools and getting them in quickly, like I said, I think BYU could probably be added a little bit sooner just because of them not being tied to a football conference, but it'll be interesting to see for sure. Again, I also am just, it's amazing to see what each one of these provides. As like myself, I've been doing homework on each one. I know about the schools. I know what they, from an athletic standpoint they provide. But when you really start to dive in as far as like the demographics, and you start to dive in on how, like, where they're, located, and the fan bases, how big they truly are. Like, BYU's fan base is massive. Houston has a massive fan base. And so I think UCF has a pretty tremendous, amount of students that are on campus is just incredible. So they really did pick some schools that I think could potentially continue to evolve within the Big 12 from an athletic standpoint and also academically as we continue to go forward. So I really like the moves that they've made so far. It will be interesting to see what other schools, because we did talk about Boise State, we did talk about Memphis, so those are options as well. So definitely excited about this. The final piece that I want to provide from the article that was written from Pete Thamel's tweets, it says, as far as a timeline for the 4 schools, which we talked about, basically it says they expect the competition to start in the Big 12 by 2023. It says, meaning 2 more seasons of the 10 teams in the conference and 2 seasons with 14 before Texas and Oklahoma depart to the SEC after the 2024 season when the Big 12 TV deals expire. So a lot of negotiations probably are going to go into that as well. So once those Big 12 TV deals expire, what could evolve from that? How much money could they be talking? And could there be an evolution of even how the Big 12 is presented on TV? So I think that there's a lot that's going to still be, being transpired, and we're going to get a lot of information coming out about everything that's going on. So this is going to be an exciting time. I'm going to be excited to continuously provide you guys the information. I truly want to take the opportunity to thank you guys for the support. I honestly can't thank you enough. This has been one of the most incredible. Honestly, I've had so much enjoyment making these videos and talking college athletics, specifically Big 12 and everything that's going on. The comment section has been just amazing. You guys, I can't thank you enough. Like the engagement that I'm having, it's pure excitement. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. Smashing that like button, helping these videos get out. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers and just continue to build this channel and become great. I'm looking forward to providing content on the NFL, specifically the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to continue to provide content definitely on the Big 12 as things continue to go. We're probably going to cover a little bit more of the football aspect, definitely going to cover college football or college basketball as well. So just keep on, enjoying the ride. I'm going to keep providing the content. If there's anything you guys are wanting, put it in the comment section. I read all the comments, guys. I really, truly do. There's a reason why I heart everything, is because I want you guys to know that I am reading your guys' comments. So thank you for the support. And as always, I appreciate you checking out the Beat of KC, and have a good day.